Welcome to Q&A Thursday. I am your coach, Tandar. Today's topic is how to feel connected and understood. Let's begin. I have many great friends and a loving family, but there are many times I feel so lonely and that no one understands me. I try to learn to accept it, but it makes me even more sad and depressed. How can I change these feelings, if that's even possible? Thank you so much for writing in. And before I begin, I must let you know that you're not alone in this. Many people out there feel disconnected from their loved ones, and they feel they're not understood, and therefore they drop into silence and take it all in and do not share. We need to feel connected and understood. So I do have some great solutions for you, and hopefully they'll serve you, feel more connected and understood. Let's begin. Number 1, connect with you first. You must know yourself very well to know where are your boundaries, what connects you to others, and what disconnects you. What makes you feel that you're understood, and what is it that you feel you're misunderstood or judged. So in order to connect with yourself and set those boundaries, you can ask certain questions of yourself to get to know you more. One would be, what makes me truly happy? What makes me come out of my shell? What makes me feel energized? If you were to fast forward 50 years from now, what would be the things you would regret not doing? Or if I were to teach something, what would it be? This way you define your own lines. Where is it that I become alive? Where is it that I become more connected and understood? In order to know that and ask that from other people, you need to get to know you better first. Which gets us to number 2. Communication is key. Let's say you were having a conversation with someone and you were expressing yourself and they jump right in to express themselves at the same time. And in that moment is that when you feel you're not being heard or understood. It's in that moment that you would have to stop that conversation and with kindness and gentleness in your words, you explain why you do not accept it or why you don't appreciate them jumping in because this is how you feel. And then you ask them, let's make a deal. I'll finish my sentence first. If you have any questions about what I have to say, you ask me. And then while you're talking, I'll do the same for you. Most people who jump in while you're talking or they express their feelings in the middle of all that is because they're not aware of it and no one has brought it to their attention. That going quiet and walking away or ignoring the whole issue is not going to solve it. So you have to find the courage to voice what you want and what you don't want. Which brings us to tip number 3. Listening is an art. I'm very sure that the only times that you feel disconnected and misunderstood are the times that you're talking. There are also times that you feel what people are saying to you has nothing to do with what you're feeling. So you have to start getting into the art of listening to what others are saying and not always have your guards up. There are 2 ways of listening. It's listening actively with intention of learning or listening just to defend yourself or just making conversation. So train yourself to start listening actively. That means if a subject comes up about you and it could have a very sore spot about it, do not feel defensive about it. And by doing so, you can tell yourself in that moment, I really want to know what they have to say, because if I don't hear what they have to say, how can I explain myself and ask them to listen to what I have to say? And that brings us to our last coaching tip, which is number 4. Know your boundaries. So as I mentioned in tip number 1, it's about getting to know yourself, connecting with yourself, and knowing where your boundaries are. And now that you know where your boundaries are, you have to voice them to others. For example, if there are things that are very private to you, or if there's a subject that you're very sensitive around, you need to voice that to your loved ones ahead of time and say, I'd love to have a conversation today, but I would really appreciate it if we don't talk about these things, because I'm still trying to figure out on my own. And I will ask for your help and advice when the time is right. That automatically not only sets boundaries between you and your loved ones of what's okay and what's not okay. And the bonus about that is when you communicate what your boundaries are and the explanation behind it without having your guards up and punching back, people will respect you more. People want to feel connected more to you. Their whole communication will become easier. And as a result, you'll feel more connected and understood. I hope these coaching tips serve you well. For more similar tips, sign up on my newsletter at tandartanapoli.com. I can't wait to see you all next week. Until then, keep happy and healthy.